Hello out there. I wanted to talk with you all about these eyebrows. I know I absolutely adore when I get that perfect arch. So I wanted to share with you all a few quick and easy tips that I use daily to achieve that look. My favorite application tool is my Artist Spoolie Brush, and my main go-to is my Moodstruck Brow Obsession Palette. Now this is more like an all-in-one. I get two colors for my eyebrows, a error corrector, highlighter, and wax. So we're going to jump right on in, and I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer so you can get a good look on the detail. First, I'm going to brush out my eyebrow hairs so they're laying nice and flat. And you can certainly use these tips for a brow pencil as well, but you will need to brush out your eyebrows. So starting with my angled in and number 2 of my palette, I like to start with number 2. It's a little darker so I can get a good definition on my eyebrow hairs. So as far as finding that perfect arch, I start with my spoolie brush in the middle of my nose to find the beginning, and I turn it slightly and mark my arch as well as the tail end of my brow. So like I said, you can also do this with your pencil, but 1, 2, 3 to find that good arch. And then I begin to draw an outline on the outsides of my eyebrow hairs so that way I can find a good arch and get a good outline from my eyebrows. Seems pretty harmless when you have a guideline to go by. So now we're just going to connect those lines. There you go, perfect arch. So I'm going to go ahead and shape up my other eyebrow here. All done. Now that I have my eyebrows outlined, it's time to fill them in. So I'm going to go in with number 1 on my palette and go ahead and get these bad boys filled in. It's pretty simple. It's just like coloring in, the outline you've made. And the reason why I use 2 different colors is because if you truly think about it, the hair that's on our head and our natural eyebrows are not truly all one color. So I want to keep that natural look consistent even when I'm applying my makeup. Now, granted, if you're using an eyebrow pencil, then of course you have normally that one color that you're going with. And of course you can define and fill in with that color as well. I just like the opportunity that there are 2 different colors in the palette, so why not use them? I'm gonna go ahead and brush out my eyebrow so that way I can get a good blend on my look. Didn't lose any definition on that brush out. Step 3, I'm going to go in with my error corrector. So you see all my lines from my outline stencil. I'm going to go ahead and clean those up. I just like to put a little bit on the tip of my brush, and I just pretty much go back over my original outline so I can cover up where I drew my stencil at and give them a bit more definition to the outline. I want to make sure I use my error corrector on the top part of my brow as well. That way I can clean up any of the residue from brushing out the eyebrow makeup when I am blending it into my eyebrow hairs. So it's really useful with this angled in on this part. That way I can get a good touch up on my edges and get that crease in on my tail just right. And now to clean up the other side. Super quick and easy. Everything in one spot. And when I tell you the results in the end are absolutely marvelous, this is why whenever I'm ready to get my brows done, can't do anything but pick up this palette. I mean, I'm gonna go in with my blending bud. That way I can blend in my error corrector around my eyebrows. That way it doesn't stand out so much. But it blends in very great, so it all works out in the end. And I'm gonna go in lastly with my wax. And mainly the wax is going to help keep my eyebrows in place and give me a bit of a healthy glow to my eyebrow hairs. Not too much of a shine, but just enough to give it a bit more definition and help my eyebrows stand out a little bit more. I mean, they're absolutely glorious, so gotta make sure they're seen right. And of course, I'm just going to blend that in and brush out my hairs. That way it kind of softens it up. I hope you certainly find these tips useful with achieving that perfect arch. I know I definitely have been able to do this same look with a brow pencil, but I've definitely loved using my brow obsession palette and my spoolie brush. Just a side note, if you want to dry the error correction with a pencil, I recommend using concealer and a crease brush. But thank you for watching. Please feel free to comment with any questions you may have.